it's really strange if you think about it. Like the early 90s, from about 90 to 94, everything was fun still. It was still in that pre-80s, let's all have fun and have a good time type of thing. 94 hits.
Yeah.
Serious grunge rock comes in.
Gangster rap.
And the serious, where everything got serious.
Yep. Yeah,
And it
because
was
we had the whole Rodney King thing and all that.
Whoa.
So things got heavy.
Things got heavy after 94.
Things got real.
Yeah, literally in like 1994, that's when everything just happened.
Everything got real. Everything got real.
It's strange.
It is. The funny thing is, though, you just reminded me of, like, again, because the early 90s, we was like, it was all happy and everything like that. The whole, like, odd mass influence into clothing lines and everything, which was a horrible decision. Fluorescent colors inspired by, like, surfer clothes.
I had them.
All the fluorescent oranges and the pinks and the yellows.
I have a picture of me in one of the photo albums downstairs, rocking a white shirt that had like surfer, cartoon surfer on it, with slightly over the knee, hot pink, like fluorescent neon hot pink.
The fluorescent
spandex
colors.
Shorts, and like the white high tops with the chunky socks.
The fluorescent flipped up caps and everything like that. Now the funny thing about this is like this whole surfer cool looking thing was, then if you picked up like a thing of surfer magazines or skateboarder magazines, none of them dressed like that.
I know.
None of them dressed like that. They had, to this day, the skateboarder BMX uniform has not changed. With busted up pants, busted up shoes, and a busted up t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even wear that stuff.
I know.
God, we were suckers.
It was that California cool look, and then you're like, well, Californians don't wear this.
Well, that was the thing, too. Like, the early 90s was all about California. Like, everything was supposed to be about California feeling. And like, to the point where they tried to bring, like, that California feeling over here to the East Coast.
Yeah, I know, except there was one problem. We have winter.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. What were we thinking, man? The early 90s clothing was so bad.
See, Spike, you get a pass
You get a pass. You were so young.
Because it's like you sort of remember, yet not. So you're lucky. You didn't have to go through any of that.
I wish I did, because everything else sucks.
It didn't get good till about the mid-90s. It really did.
Mid-90s is when everything changed. It got super cool. Super serious. Super cool.
Yeah. My God. Like, okay, I know we're bouncing all over the place. Whether you were into rap or not, you knew the song Scenario.
Oh, of course.
What's the Scenario was the shit.
That's how I met my best friend Meatball. Was with that song.
Scenario, How I Could Just Kill a Man, Cypress Hill. House of Pain.
Half and half.
House of Pain, Jump Around. Like, it was like all these like amazing one-hit fucking songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, but we got to jump into the rest of the 90s, though.
Oh, rest of the 90s. Nerd topics, really quick. 90s was kind of a big deal for comic books. Comic books were, in fact, a big deal in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, prior to one of the biggest events, which inspired a lot of us in high school or like that, it was the reemergence of the X-Men title.
Yes.
Which became a huge deal, because this was basically, even though he'd been an artist for a couple of years, this was really Jim Lee, who's now known as one of the absolute greatest comic book artists of all times, the most sought-after comic book artists of all times, came out and did the artwork for X-Men issue 1.
Yeah.
Which, to this day, still sells like hotcakes and one of the most sought-after books in his short run with the series, alongside with Chris Claremont. And it was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. At that time, also, was Todd McFarlane was simultaneously doing his run with Spider-Man, which really brought Spider-Man back to the forefront and everything because of his art styling and everything like that. For some odd reason, Rob Liefeld became like a big deal, which I don't know why. He was never that good, but still. But then it spawned off into one of the biggest things, no pun intended. Well, pun intended, actually.
Yeah.
It spawned off into one of the biggest things that happened in comic book history, where all these top artists were like, look, we're not getting paid what we should be getting paid. So either you're gonna pay us more or we're gonna leave.
Yeah.
And Marvel at the time wasn't the juggernaut that it is now. It was making straight to video, DVD, VHSs,
Yeah.
and everything like that. So they left and they went forward and made their own comic book company known as Image.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee struck out with Wildcats. McFarlane came out with Spawn. Liefeld came out with Youngblood. Eric Larson came out with Savage Dragon. J. Scott Campbell, before he became just a cover artist, came out with Gen 13.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, everybody thought this was going to take over the big companies. And unfortunately it didn't, even though it could have. I think it was more so the lack of writing and really good, solid stories is what they were missing. Because they had the art. They just didn't have the stories to really encapsulate it. Because the artists, these were all the creations that they always wanted to do. But the thing is, they may have had the mind for creating a new character, but they didn't have the writing ability to push it forward. The only one that's still out there that's still somewhat successful and everything like that, of course, is Todd McFarlane with Spawn.
Yeah.
Spawn is the only one that has lasted. A couple of spot characters here and there have lasted via the DC's acquisition of Wildstorm and everything like that. But Spawn is the only one that really survived that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I remember when it first happened, because this is when we used to get Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Wizard magazine!
I used to love that magazine.
Wizard magazine was great. Excuse me, I'm really sorry about my nose tonight. But, like, it could have been great.
Yeah.
It just didn't pan out. They didn't have the writing.
Well, one of the biggest comic book things that happened in the 90s, shocked the whole fucking world,
Which might be the one that I was probably going to get into.
I think so, yeah.
the death of Superman.
That was exactly where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the death of
fucking
Superman. The death of Superman was so big, it was covered by newspapers. It was covered by the news. I still have mine fully saran wrapped in black. I have an unwrapped version, but I have a full, still to this day, wrapped version in mint condition with the art, with the obituary and the armband and everything.
Nice.
I still have that one.
Yeah.
But it was the debut of the new character known as Doomsday. And the funny thing is, it wasn't the first time Superman had died in the comic book.
Yeah.
But it was the most relevant. It really was. Because this also showed the peak of comics in the 90s at the time. Granted, it's way bigger now. But it was a really big uprise at that time. But yeah, the death of Superman was absolutely huge. Huge. I can't believe, again, it was just all over the news. You couldn't escape it. Like, you would have thought it was like a real person. Other things worth noting was the relaunch of Daredevil at issue 1 with, I believe it was Frank Miller that did some of the artwork on that one. Valiant Comics. Valiant Comics was a really big deal with Ninjak and a couple other things like that. They had Alpha and Omega. Let's see, Astro City was another big one. Robot Fighter. Marvel Comics. Marvel's series. The issues that all the panels were like hand painted and everything like that.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yep, that was the instance of that. Other reason why the Daredevil thing was one was such a big deal was it was the first launch of Marvel Knights. It was the beginning of Marvel Knights. I'm sorry again. My nose is not stopping tonight. Let's see what else we got here really quick. Yes, the Death of Superman and Spawn. Yeah, actually we mentioned the top 3. We mentioned the top 3 right there. In terms, Bloodshot from Valiant. Yeah, I forgot about that one. The New Mutants.
Of course.
When Rob Liefeld took over using Cable and all them. Yeah, there was a lot of Valiant. Valiant was a big deal back then, apparently. Valiant was a big deal. And it was funny again because Marvel did try to attack the movie market.
Of course.
With a bad Captain America movie. A Fantastic Four movie that was so bad it never got released, but you can find it on YouTube. And apparently, little known fact, they did do a She-Hulk movie with Brigitte Nielsen that turned out so bad that you can't even find it anywhere. They buried it that deep. They buried it. But if you Google search it, you can find a couple of promo shots. I showed you those promo pictures.
I know, that still boggles my mind.
Yeah, it was like the weirdest thing, like the triangular outfit that they gave her.
Like, is it in some kind of weird Ocean's 12 type vault somewhere?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's insane.
Speaking of movies, they listed some of the greatest movies of that time. Terminator 2 made the big comeback.
Yes.
Terminator 2 was huge.
It was.
Terminator 2 was huge. Titanic.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're the opposite of most girls, but that was really the whole big Leonardo
I know.
DiCaprio
Yeah.
wave and everything.
My friend Fiorella, she made me watch the movie during one of our sleepovers, and she is bawling her eyes out at the end, and I'm just watching it like there's room for him to get on.
And there's been memes about this too.
I know.
There is room for him to get on that thing.
And then I did watch it at another time, and it was one of those times where I had music also going while that was in the background, and as I looked up, I'm like, whoa, this is actually really cool when you put it to music. So, you know, because of course I'm listening to the grunge and the metal, I'm like, okay, now this is epic. This is a music video.
Okay, well, one of the biggest kids or family movies of that time, right there at the beginning of the decade, Home Alone.
Yeah, that was big.
Oh my God, you couldn't escape Macaulay Culkin fever and all that stuff. Like, everybody thought he was adorable. Now look at him. Another popular '90s movie that came out mid-decade that we've had mentioned on this show multiple times over the beginning and birthing of this show, 1995's Clueless.
Yep. Yeah, I loved that movie. I still do love that movie.
I know you do.
I love the fashion in it. I tried some of the fashion in it.
The language that just never really caught on.
Some of it did, as if caught on.
Yeah, as if
whatever caught on.
The whatever and putting your hands in a W caught on quite a bit. I mean.
Oh, well, you have admission face on you right now. You have admission face on you right now that you're about to admit something you probably never should have.
Admit I wanted to be like them. I wanted to dress like them so bad. Like, okay, in the high school days, like, look, I knew what I liked. I loved the grunge music. I loved the grunge look. I loved the goth and the heavy metal. I was different.
Yeah.
I loved being different. But don't get me wrong. Movie like Clueless made me sit there and go, oh my God, I wish I could be Alicia Silverstone.
Oh my God, I wish I could be the cool kids. That song. Never.
In a sense, yes. Like, I wanted to be Alicia Silverstone. I wanted her clothes, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to be the teenager with her own credit card and a cell phone. I wanted to be able to go shopping at the mall like she did. It's like, why can't I get these things?
Oh my God. Well, another big one, 1996's Independence Day. Independence Day was huge, which probably has like the most influential movie speech of movie speeches with the president or like that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember sitting in the theaters and we were watching that, and the parts that got like big reactions was one, the dog.
Yes.
The dog. Everybody
When
flipping
the dog
out
lived.
when the dog lived. Two was, of course, the president's speech. 'Cause I remember everybody sitting in the theater, like he makes, today we celebrate our Independence Day, and everybody in the theater was like, yeah! Like, as if we were actually like part of that speech because it really did like grab you.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, let's go kick some alien ass! I think somebody even said it in the movie theaters when I went.
Yeah.
But of course, the most emotional scene is Randy Quaid's Big Sacrifice and the part with the kids.
Which is why I'll never watch the movie ever again.
Oh yeah, that part, I remember everybody just bawling their eyes out because it was done
Oh my God, yeah.
so amazingly.
Dude, I saw that movie July 3rd with our cousin in the theater. We did not sleep because the next day was literally Independence Day. We did not sleep.
That was also apparently the big action come out for Keanu Reeves with Speed. Speed was huge.
It was.
I remember Speed. I remember everybody being so tense on it, and then the bus makes the jump, and the same thing. I'm in the theater, and everybody's like, "Yeah!" Like the bus made it. Like, okay, we knew the bus was gonna make it, but still, it was like it really like grabbed everybody. Here's one from Ms. Foxy as well that she loves, Billy Madison.
I do. I love Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Other than like Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2 and Little Nicky, Billy Madison is my absolute favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It was also the big action come out of Nicolas Cage with Con Air. Con Air was like another like huge movie.
Never saw it.
Me neither.
Oh, Con Air is amazing. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Friday.
Yes. Oh my god.
Friday, 1990.